Rich, could you talk a little bit about you said you're a World War II veteran, correct?
No, Korean.
Korean. Okay. Could you talk about your service a little bit?
It's kind of long. I don't. We'll just hit the. Well, I took my training at Indiantown Gap, PA, and I had an offer to go to OCS, become a shave tail, which I didn't want, and I have to sign up for 3 more years. I was a married man. All I wanted to do was get the war over with and go home. Now, I was also a licensed airplane pilot, and they needed L4 or L19 observation planes kind of bad, and they were going to sign me up for it. And with an L19, you can shoot it down with a BB gun, and I didn't want to get shot down with no BB gun. So anyway, I backed off on everything, and I had to take basic training all over again. So that was 32 weeks of infantry basic at Indiantown Gap. So finally, when I got my last orders, I would go to Camp Kilmer, New Jersey, after my 10-day leave at home. And then I thought to myself, well, one or two things are going to happen. I'm either going to stay stateside or I'm going to Europe. So one day we got on a boat, ship rather, and we went to Newfoundland. I had no idea what I was doing in Newfoundland, but a couple of days later, I pulled a port in Germany called Bremerhaven. So anyway, I sprechen viel Deutsch, and I talked to the people that were docking our ship, and we had a nice conversation. I said, well, as long as I got to be away from home, this is second home to me. Well, they took us in the trains. We all tell you, if you've seen the movie Sounds of Music, this is the place I was stationed in. It was in southern Germany, Bavaria. The Bavarian mountains were all around us. It was beautiful. And the camp we were in was unbelievably beautiful. The tiled showers and the big mess, my tongue's out of me, the big mess halls and everything else, they were gorgeous. I couldn't figure out why. This is a military camp. So some months later, when we got taken out of there, I was reading up on that place. It was a head school for SS officers. That's why it was so elite. But I spent my time at division headquarters in a little town called Geppingen, Germany. And it was in the Bavarian section, on the edge of the Bavarian section. And some of our job was a place called Grafenwehr. It's between Nuremberg and the Czech border. And we used to patrol that because there was still people that I guess didn't say that the war was over. And I don't remember of any of our people getting shot, but people were shot periodically and killed. But we were all set. I was a ranking NCO at the time, so they gave me a Jeep, and they gave me a tripod in the back of my Jeep with a 30 caliber air-cooled machine gun on it. I had a 15 clip carbine, so the two gentlemen that were with me were armed the same way. But there was one big thing lacking. We didn't get any ammunition. So I suppose if something would start, we didn't know whether we were against the Russian soldier or the Czech soldier because we never really seen them. Maybe they've seen us a couple times, but we just fluffed it off. And, looking around, I'm of German descent. I'm American, but my mother's side of the family came from Germany. I wrote her a letter, asked her if she had any old letters that were written before the war and so on. And she said, yeah, she sent me 4 letters. Well, or addresses rather. So I wrote 4 letters to these people. And only one could read and write English, and he was a building engineer in Karlsruhe, Germany. And he wrote me a letter back and said, you come visit us anytime you want. So I did. And we had a wonderful time together. And he had some brothers. There was Otto, Fritz rather. Well, anyway, my tongue's out of my brain again. He asked me if I could get away on a long vacation. But they called it a holiday, not a vacation. So I asked him what he's talking about, and he says, well, in a little village in Bavaria, the Black Forest, Schwarzwald, my mother is celebrating her 90th birthday, and which was then my grandmother in Erie, that was her sister. So I said, sure, I can do that. And I did. And I got into a little town called Wallachia. I'm telling you, it was a picture book setting. You wouldn't believe how beautiful that place is and how it was tore up during the war. But,
I think the kids want to talk.
oh, okay. Okay, kids, it's your turn.
Nancy.
Great Papa's done flapping his gums.
Well, Rich, if I could ask another quick question for you, Rich. So how is it right now? I mean, usually when it's not during the pandemic, you could actually physically see, your family and your grandkids. How is it, difficult is it, doing these video chats, not being able to actually, see them?
Well, that's a little difficult, but hey, well, it is what it is, But no, this I enjoy this, and I can see my family here again, and talk to you folks about my experiences. Which, when somebody asks me what I did in the war, I never say I did this and I did that, because what are you gonna catch you on lies? No, you don't ever want to tell somebody that was in combat that you were there too, because that's a terrible thing to do. Right now, the gentleman in the same room I am in at Sellers' home is 95 years old, and I asked him if he heard the word or ever talked about the city, because he said he was in Belgium. He was one of the fighters that was surrounded at Bastogne, and the Germans wanted him to surrender, but the SS would take him and put him in a boxcar and machine gun. So they didn't surrender, and finally they beat the hell out of the Germans. So that's the way it went over there. When I was there at peacetime, I was seeing things. The most beautiful city I ever seen in my life over there was Heidelberg. And the story has it that the American troops were ready to take over Heidelberg. The Germans and Americans called a truce, just the division generals. And they had a 24 to 48 hour window where the Germans were going to pull out and the Americans were going to go in. And I seen that city. It's so beautiful, it's so old, and they never fired a shot in there. So what they said they were going to do held up. It was true.
But this is nothing compared to what you've already seen.
No. It's just one of those things that you get in your mind. I brought an old road map home from Germany. It's falling apart now. But every once in a while, in bad weather, excuse me, there was nothing to do, I would get that old road map out, and I'd circle all the cities I was in, and I would reminisce. Excuse me. This bad cough I've had for almost 20 years, so it's not the cough that people are thinking it is.
That's good. Good to know.
Yeah, now that I got everybody together.
Right next to you.
Hello. Let's have a going away party.
So Rich, you're from Erie, correct?
Oh yeah, born and raised.
Born and raised in Erie. Could you briefly talk about what you guys, when your family does visit you, what you guys usually do? I know Angelo said something about sometimes they bring you some sort of family-made beer and some food.
Oh, you bet. How do you think I survived?
Could you talk about that, seeing your family, in person and them, bringing you that stuff?
There's days when you're down on yourself and you got a lot of time to think about whatever you want to think about, and you get, there's a shrink comes in here every once in a while and he talks to me. He says, do you ever get disgusted or discouraged or anything? I don't. You can ask anybody here that they want to go home, but obviously we can't. But you see my family and everybody else, and well, this place is my family too. some of them don't say too much, but my gums keep flapping, and I talk with people. I get along all right. You know, I was in different homes before I came here. Excuse me. And they all have a good point, and they all have a different point. And I guess, look at the clown. Hey, clown, what are you doing?
Which one is that?
But I like this one. It's the other ones were a little closer to home, but this is my home now. I've got two nice windows here. I've got a bird feeder swinging right outside my window. I watch the birds, and I got two big oak trees out here. I'm watching the squirrels run up and down the trees. And, you know, it don't sound very exciting, but it is. You watch the squirrels running around the bottom on the ground, and then you look up at the sky, you see those hawks circling around. So one day it's going to happen. But you know, Michelle, why are you yawning? Didn't you sleep good last night?
Wasn't yawning.
But you know, Angelo has got a list of things here that he wanted me to say about how good he is and everything. But I can do it. I can do it verbally without. There's no prompters here.
Okay.
This is all live TV. But no, Angelo, he's busy.
No, there was one other important thing you were supposed to say to your son, though.
Oh, which one?
Dave.
I have three of them.
Dave.
Yeah, Dave. Oh God, he brings food in here.
What's tomorrow?
Oh yeah, Gerbert's dog. Here, David. Happy birthday, Dave.
Thank you.
You know, when you were born, we looked at you at St. Vincent's and said, oh my God. But
It's a baby.
we didn't we didn't know what to do with you. So your mother says, well, let's keep him for a week or two and see what he turns out to be.
He's still waiting.
We are still waiting for that moment.
Someday, maybe. But he brings food in here every once in a while. But he brings portions that he would eat, and he's a big eater. And I can't eat that much of it. But he brings them in, and he brings a little liquid refreshment with me. He checked with the superior, what do they call them? I can't remember anymore. Anyway, they said, yeah, one a day. But on your birthday, you should have brought me one in there. We could have had, oh, that's right, you still can't come in. But what the heck is he doing?
So, Rich and Angelo, you know, this story, you know, do you think, I don't know if you wanted to let so that's your son, his name's David, right?
Right.
Is there anything else you wanted to add about, you know, the coronavirus, you know, how this is, you know, affecting you there? I mean...
Well, I think about it every day, of course, but I'll tell you, I'm not afraid. Not really, not for me. I am for my family. And I had pneumonia twice, and I beat it twice. I don't want to try for a third shot, but if this wants to play ball with me, so let the games begin. And I think I'll come out on top.
Yeah.
But it's something that I don't think people are really taking it all that serious in different places. They just, you know, I mean, you're seeing all these pieces dropping over dead. I mean, what is it? Something invisible that they're eating or something? No, this is a little buggy. You can't even see it. But I just say a prayer every day, many times a day, that this will all pass over. This is, you know, it's just like they're worried about our economy too. Well, that's secondary. You can't put money in front of lives. But I went through a depression, and it was bad. And if need be, I'm in a good place because if the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania runs out of food, then I'll be in deep doo-doos. But because I'm fixing food here every day, and I like some of their food that they bring in. And I just shouldn't say some of it. It's all pretty darn decent. It's all edible, believe me. And that's the way it is here. The women that work here, and the guys too, they're very, very helpful. They got a lot of patience and not much help, but they do their doggone best.
Right.
And ask them something, they do it.
All right. Rich, thank you very much. I don't know if anybody in your family, your son, or any of your grandchildren wanted to, add to the story, because the story's about, this social distancing during the COVID-19 pandemic and how it affects you not being able to see, your father and your grandfather.
Well, he brought the kids down here a week ago outside of my window where my bird feeder is.
Yeah.
They were jumping around having a good time.
And Brian, those were some of the pictures that I did send you.
Okay.
When the family was down here with the kids with the bird feeder and them sharing. Well, the kids weren't sharing the beer, but
I'll take note.
yeah, those will be in your email.
Okay, thank you. So can Dave and can they hear me right now?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if you guys could maybe, if you wanted to add to the story, not being able to, physically see, your father, but, thanks to technology, you can at least, do these video conferences.
Right. We are so lucky to live in this time period where the technology is so advanced. It's really hard to not be able to see him and, give him a high five, give him a hug, but, being able to go down and look at him through the window and being able to use the computer to Zoom with him is just, it's amazing.
Right.
I still take down, I try to get a takeout lunch for him on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, and Saturdays, and maybe we'll stick in some extra grapes or some cheese in that. But I can only go to the front door, so it's just a quick wave if he's by the front door, or I walk around, tap on the window, and a quick wave, and I always give him the okay sign, are you okay? And he'll nod, yeah, I'm okay, and then we'll talk on the phone. But it is different, but we're making the best of it.
Hey, Dave, I don't miss you as much as I miss your wife.
That's all right.
She's my sweetheart.
Hey Dave, I like your father more and more every day.
Love you, Dad.
So do you find, this, I guess disorienting because this is something so new as opposed to, seeing him, you have to do this, online. And I'm sure it is difficult at times.
Yeah, I shed a few tears now and then, yeah.
Brian, if I could interject real quick, because keeping families connected has been one of the more fulfilling things I've ever had the privilege to do. Period, not just here, because this is a hard time, for not just for the residents but the families, because our families that come in just love their family member, and to be part of these calls and to be able to see the reactions, number one, from the residents being amazed at the technology and being able to do this, but just to see their faces and how they're reacting to being able to see each other during this difficult time. It's been amazing. I'm just so thankful, like Michelle said, that we have this kind of technology that we can do this. And time again, I did a call the other day with one of our residents and 6 of his children who are in all different parts of the country. And it was incredible. It was just amazing to see. So I just wanted to interject that.
And we're thankful for you, Ange.
Oh, no problem.
This could all be done without you. So thank you for your patience, and thank you for taking the time to meet with each resident and their family members, because it means so much to us.
No, you're welcome.
He does a real bang-up job.
And Angelo, he's the one that, reached out to us about this interview, because a lot of people, our viewers are unaware of, this situation that they have, families have this option, this technology, that they still can, talk to their loved ones. So I think it's really important that the viewers see that and really appreciate that we got to talk to Rich and his family to show that aspect that a lot of people are unaware of during this time. So really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Thanks, fellas.
Love you, Dad.
We love you. Love you.
Hey, where's our little
Hey,
guy?
do the kids want to say anything?
Come here, Aubrey. Aubrey, come here. Say hi. Say hi. 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 I love you. Love you.
Love you too, guys.
You say hi. Say hi.
Hi, sweetheart. Hi. Oh, boy. You're helping her educate.
It looks like the weather's going to be nice next week, so we'll bring the kids down and look through the window again. They can see you, and you can see them.
Bring some liquid refreshment along, too. Drop it at the front there, okay?
I want to thank everybody for making this work. We really appreciate this.
Hey,
Thank you guys
I love you
for
too.
being willing.
See the family together like that? Boy, that's a real pickup, I'll tell you.